The Simpsons Hit and Run is a game that defined a generation of gamers. Each day, millions of people worldwide would come home and beat up some pensioners or kick the living daylights out of some kids. And then they'd load up the Simpsons Hit and Run. Nothing could live up to the thrill of smashing into race competitors, running people over at 100 miles per hour, or turning every road into the scene of Princess Di's car accident.
If only Diana had a solid driver, hey guys.
Well, today, I removed all of that. All of the things you enjoyed about the Simpsons Hit and Run have been purged, leaving only a morsel of what you remember. And in its place, suffering, regret,
pain,
and a ton of explosions, baby! The way this mod works is that if my vehicle even taps any of these items, I instantly blow up. Like Mole Man in that One Treehouse of Horror episode. Starting off with level 1, I have high hopes. I mean, the family sedan is meant to be used for most of this level, and that has about the same speed as a wheelchair going uphill. On top of that, you don't even need to use a car for one of the missions, so surely I can't crash that many times? Oh, ideal. And surely nothing else can go terribly wrong that could potentially ruin the whole challenge and cause me to want to kill myself! Oh, With the tutorial complete and this challenge not yet turning into the end of Oppenheimer, we get into the first real mission of the game, which tasks us with racing Principal Skinner to the school to give Lisa this abomination of a science project. Like,
what the hell is even that?
Actually, you know what? My partner's a teacher. What is this?
So this is the human.
Yeah, nobody fucking cares. We grab Lisa's flashlight and decide to use this mission as a test to see how this mod actually works. Because I did absolutely zero testing and possibly just downloaded a virus. I mean, I suppose I should do a test just to see if I hit him, do I blow up? Yes, I do. Okay, right, it's fine. Okay, right, this is fine. We can still do this. This is horrible. This is horrible. I've failed this miserably. There's no chance I do this. I can still do this. We have faith here. Okay, we can't do this. But at least we know how it works now. So we can't hit Seymour's vehicle. Funnily enough, on the attempt where you don't intentionally kill yourself and you actually attempt to win the race, you don't blow up 3 times and are actually successful. For the first time in your life. Unlike that time when you were 21 and you went for that job interview. For the job you were already doing, and you bombed so hard that you almost didn't get the job. And you only got it as a consolation prize as the one other person down to interview didn't show up. Anyway. Moving on from that, I had to clear my mind. And what better way to do that than completing jobs for someone who drinks mercury from a thermometer? And no, I'm not joking, this is genuinely Cletus's backstory. Fortunately, Cletus's bonus mission was a breeze, or you could say it was like
the summer wind came blowing in from across the sea.
And with that mission going as well as it did, we take our positive frame of mind straight into the next story mission, where I proceed to make the worst decision possible in this playthrough. You know, I don't think in 100% of this playthrough would be that difficult. You know? We're not doing too bad at the minute. I can't see it getting much more difficult.
You're not just wrong, you're stupid.
Whilst this doesn't seem like a massive change, it does mean we have the additional tasks of destroying every wasp camera, finding every gag and collector's card, buying every outfit and vehicle, and the bits I'm going to live to regret the most, completing every bonus mission and every race available in each of the levels. And with mission 2 out of the way, we'll make a start on these by collecting all 7 of the collector's cards and all of the gags. I then spent 25 minutes driving around the whole of Springfield looking for one damn wasp. And I still didn't find the damn thing. Like, I drove around the whole of the map, looked into every crevice, even your mum's Snicker. Even your mum's Snicker? What? I wrote the mum bit. Oh, I'm meant to snicker. Oh, right. I don't know what to do. You know what? F it, we're keeping it in. Long story short, I couldn't find the wasp, and in the hopes that we actually get some sort of progression and not just sit on the first level for multiple streams. Yes, you heard me correctly, stream. Come on over and watch me complete these challenges live. Please, I'm so fucking lonely. We get into mission 3, which requires us to use the Plough King to try and murder Mr. Burns and Mr. Smithers by repeatedly smashing into them. In a mission where we're not allowed to destroy our own vehicle. Can you see the issue here? I need to hit a car and not die. But when I hit the car, I die. So, no shot.
I know you're freaking out. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Easy fix. Puzzle code in my head. Now it's on the walls. Everything is good.
Now, I'm not one to quit challenge just like that. So I tried, time and time again, to murder these two people. But with the way the mod works, it just wasn't possible. So with a bit of tweaking to the mod, we managed to destroy the car and complete the mission. Oh, we got him. Thank Christ for that. Now let's just look at the challenge again. And we're going to move that down. Cross that one out. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Perfect. With my faith in this challenge somewhat restored, we gloss over mission 4, which is just Homer destroying company property, complete the final race of the level, and find that last wasp camera that I'd been searching for over an hour at this point. And we get into mission 5, where we start to get a bit paranoid.
Ooh, homie, you're so sexy when you're paranoid.
Thanks. Mission 5 tasks us with just stalking someone. There's literally no other way to put it. There are a copious number of missions in this game that just promote and teach you how to stalk people. I mean, sure, for this mission you're under the impression that you're being spied on, but that's not going to hold up in court of law. And in the end of the day, they're literally just pizza delivery vans. Realistically, it's going to be a teenager driving this van, so what we've just witnessed is Homer, at the age of 36, stalk a teenager.
Oh, bang. See you later. You go in prison.
Now we have the address of a teenager and a restraining order to remain 500 feet away from it, we go to meet Marge, who completely ignores our concerns of being spied on and says we should instead stop a violent video game from being released, by violently smashing into some poor delivery driver several times. Fortunately, this mission type was fixed at the same time as the other one, so I don't fail this mission because of that. I fail it because I suck ass at driving and hit various different vehicles and walls. Once we'd assisted Marge in her assault against Jasper, who'd only picked up some delivery driver shifts to help top up his pension as the old man couldn't afford his schizophrenia medication, we get into the final mission of the level, which is racing Mr. Smithers to get to Mr. Burns and confront him about the black vans. And for all the trouble we go through, we learn that Mr. Burns murdered Amelia Earhart and we lose our job.
No!
Home and out unemployed, we turn to Bart to be the main breadwinner of the family. And overall, I'm quite happy with how the first level went. Sure, we had a bit of trouble finding out the quirks of the mod, but now we've sorted that, surely this is only going to get easier. Is what I would say if I didn't know for a fact that in the first race we try, these two people go out of their way to ruin my life by smashing me from behind harder than Diddy smashed. On the plus side, once we actually manage to get a good distance ahead, we maintain the lead and get this race out of the way, because, well, I'm a bit of a racer boy. A racer boy. With the races completed, we also make our way around the map finding all of the gags, grabbing all of the collector's cards, and destroying all of the wasp cameras. We're missing one wasp again. Despite all of the potentially incriminating things I'm going to do to that wasp going around in my head, Bart still has an important part to play in this game's storyline, starting with his lust to play video games. The first mission requires Bart to skip class and avoid Principal Skinner in an effort to get the new Bone Storm game.
You want excitement? Shove this up your stocking!
Whoa!
Boots! Cuphead, you fat gimp! You milk-filled douchebag! Can my shots do something?
That looks entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
Whilst Principal Skinner did have his Terminator phase, he does appear to be a massive nerd, because if we enter Moe's, he just tries to leave us alone. So with him out of the way, we just need to finish the drive to the try and save where we meet Jimbo. Or should I say, Corky Jimmy.
What kind of stupid name is that?
Corky Jimmy lets us know that he's stolen the final copy of Bone Storm, so we need to figure something else out. But more importantly, it appears good old Abe over here has given out several bags of blood. Fingers crossed he doesn't have, like, I don't know, hepatitis or something. To stop glamorous Godfrey from dying, he probably needs some more blood, so we make our way around Springfield, picking some up from the Plasma Center, which makes sense, and then from Moe's Bar and the Krusty Burger, where I'd really question the quality of blood being distributed. With approximately 1.2 litres of blood obtained, we make our way back to Effie Lou, who rewards a 10-year-old child with unlimited access to a World War II Jeep. Back to the main story, we speak to Kearney outside of a military antique store who says games suck and it's all about fireworks now. So yeah, Bone Storm sucks. Not this Bone Storm though, this one's still really cool. You should like and subscribe to this Bone Storm. And I've just realised I've called myself a Bone Storm whilst playing as a 10-year-old. Just to clarify, I do not have an erection. Fortunately, our time frame to collect an excessive amount of illegal fireworks is rather lenient. So we have an easy time picking up the fireworks and even find some time to go and collect the final wasp. Once we've collected all of the fireworks, we have to get away from Police Chief Wiggum, who proceeds to break, I presume, at least one law by using excessive force and blowing me to hell. On the plus side, once we get some distance between us, we're not in too much danger and manage to complete the mission without too much trouble. The same, however, cannot be said for Mission 3, where we meet up with Comic Book Guy to learn more about Bone Storm. You know, just completely moving on from the fact that we picked up all these fireworks. And I mean that literally. Like, this is the wiki page for this mission. If we look through the whole thing, we've got the plot, the tasks that we have to do, some of the notes about how to cheat the mission, a load of dialogue that is apparently used, I don't know, I skipped the cutscenes, and then a little bit of trivia. And I went through all of the wikis for every mission in this level, and not once do we reference these again. So genuinely, if someone knows a reason why we collected these fireworks that isn't just, fireworks are cool, games are 90s, ay caramba, then please let me know. Anyway, yeah, Mission 3 was a bit of a pain in the ass. Not so much because of the actual mission, but because it's abundantly clear no one in Springfield can drive. Like, look at this guy just blocking his entire lane. Does he not know I'm trying to cut corners here? Or this guy who just pulls out in front of me despite the fact I'm going 120 miles per hour. Or the actual nerd car who just T-bones me out of nowhere. Yeah, we blew up a few times on this mission, but eventually managed to get an attempt where we didn't get cut off by random vehicles, and we send the nerd car back to his meaningless existence living in internet cafes. But unfortunately, that gets us nowhere. The comic book guy doesn't really seem to care that I've blown up 73 times and have numerous third-degree burns, and sends us off to meet Professor Frink. When speaking to the cremated remains of Professor Frink, he lets us know that we can't actually have any copies of the game as he's using them to make his new monster, which, as you can imagine, is immediately more important than playing Bone Storm. To assist Professor Frink, we stalk Herman and get into a race against Snake to get a radio. Initially, I thought this was going to be a massively difficult race. Snake's car, Bandit, is a massive improvement to anything I have, so much of an improvement that I don't actually get access to it for the next 4 levels. And this is the first mission that we have to do on the expressway, and as we remember from the last mission, no one knows how to drive. It doesn't start off great with this random civilian just destroying my car, but once we take this taxi driver hostage and just steal his car, we just smoke Snake and get the radio. What can I say? I'm a bit of a racer boy. With the radio collected, Professor Frink now needs a satellite dish to, I presume, communicate with his new invention? Or his home planet, the fucking nerd? Yeah, honestly, I have no idea. Frink gives us no information at all about how these items help create his monster. Obviously, the only person in Springfield that has a satellite dish is Cletus, I guess, but this mission had literally 0 problems, so here's me explaining the plot to Forrest Gump whilst completing the mission. I just started running, and I didn't stop running, because my girlfriend had the AIDS. The final part Professor Frink needs before he can finish creating the Truckosaurus is a blender, and despite there being multiple episodes of The Simpsons where they use a blender, so Bart could just go home and get this, we instead pay our dad $200 for a car which we don't use, and there is no requirement to once you've started the mission. On that note, this mission is the first mission where we're required to spend money, and you may have noticed I've added some money to the mod. That's strictly because I've blown up more times than Diddy at a party, and I just didn't think I'd be able to afford anything if I lose all of my money. Whilst the mission itself wasn't massively entertaining, I did chuckle at the wiki, where there's apparently someone who's been stuck on this mission for a minimum of 5 years. And a part of me hopes they're still there. I mean, surely at this point you'd just restart the game. It honestly takes an hour to get back to this on a normal playthrough. Blender in hand, we make our way to Professor Frink to finally see the Truckosaurus, before he then tells us we need to destroy some cars.
Are you taking the fucking piss?
Once again, Professor Frink is abusing our kind-hearted nature. or our need for extreme violence, for his own dirty greed. On the plus side, we're not locked to a vehicle for this mission, so if we blow up, it's not the end of the world. And in fact, we use that to our advantage. Unplanned, but works. Just like me. And after a few more vehicles destroyed, we start making our way back to Professor Frink. Massive props to whichever organisation thought about attaching bombs to cars to do damage. Really ahead of their time. Once we get back to Frink, we see the Truckosaurus, get attacked, then get abducted by fucking aliens, baby. Let's go! I'm so sorry. This isn't who I am. Level 3 takes us onto the final map of the game, and it's at this point that I came to the realisation that each map has its own downfall for this challenge. In level 1 we have the power plant, filled with narrow corridors, sharp corners, and a lot of workers that you can't see half the time. Level 3 has the pier, a moderately large stretch of road filled with people and a long distance before the next phone booth if you blow up halfway across. And level 2's map just fucking sucks. To start off, we spawn right next to the first mission, which I know I did on the last level, but variety is the spice of life, so...
Let me add a little bit of spice.
We head into the store where we pick up the outfits for the level and also meet your mum. And then we speak to the comic book guy to get into the first mission. This mission requires us to drive comic book guy's car to the pier in a race against the nerd. Fortunately, this only goes to the edge of the pier, so it's only a brief moment of danger, but you survive to see another day. Like when you get the washing out of the dryer in front of your stepbro, but you don't get stuck. However, we do still have the issue of the stats for this vehicle being absolutely ass. Whilst they don't seem too bad on the face of it, what you don't realise is that this is an absolute lie, as this car has the same handling as me when I hold a child. After a few attempts lost due to the Kremlin's terrible handling, we finally get back to Android's dungeon where he tells us he saw Bart at Noiseland Arcade. Just to clarify, Android's dungeon is here, and Noiseland Arcade is here. I could have literally seen Bart if he was there, which means that this guy just completely wasted my time. Now, although this mission ended right next to the start of the next mission, I made a start on collecting some of the requirements for this level to 100%, taking out some of the wasps and picking up some of the collector's cards, until we ended up at the Duff Brewery, where I found Ralph. This little crayon eater hosts one of the toughest races of the game, pitting you against Mummy Milker Simpson in her Canyonero. Any vehicle you have available at this point in the game is vastly worse in comparison, and the only way you can get ahead is through brute force. And to be honest, I thought I was going to be on this race for a while, as Marge was absolutely bending me over. However, I wasn't prepared for this. Oh my god, there's like a 10-car pile-up on the M5 behind me. This is fantastic. Oh, we've got this. If I don't crash here, we're absolutely fantastic. I thought this was going to take ages. We've absolutely aced this. Mainly because one of the AI drivers was like and just decided to crash into Marge. Woo, baby, let's go. One race out of the way, we decide to take our hot streak into race number 2. Whilst I wouldn't normally expect this race to be an issue, this is a figure 8 course, meaning that at some point the paths cross and there is a high probability that Lisa is getting hit more than me as a child. On top of that, we also make the great realisation that if you land in a certain way in certain vehicles, that also causes you to just blow up.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently. That's okay. Things are going to be okay.
It took a few attempts, but we finally get a healthy lead in front of Marge, and by carefully staying behind all of the other racers, making sure we don't get hit, we complete the race. Although, for the life of me, I have no idea why my car is smoking.
The bottom line is smoking is cool.
Continuing on with our plan of just avoiding anything to do with the main storyline, we go to meet Principal Skinner, who basically just supports child labour by asking an 8-year-old child to do work for him. Fortunately, the tasks he asks us to complete are something that I do on a daily basis, like steal old people's dirty underwear and bathe in antifungal cream, so this shouldn't be much of a problem. Wait, could those two things be related? Maybe it's all those stains. Despite Seymour working in a school and having a duty to protect children, this doesn't stop him from blowing up numerous times and endangering the life of an 8-year-old, losing his life to various civilians, random cars, and just wars in general. No! Oh, beans! But we eventually managed to finish the mission and unlock ourselves the sedan for our troubles. Also, just to say, the fact that this mission doesn't end where it started caused me to fail this on multiple occasions as a child, and I hate this mission for it. Back to the matter at hand, Bart is currently playing hide and seek with the Sodder children, so we should probably try our best to find him. We speak to Milhouse, who lets us know that Bart might be at Wally Weasel, but when we get there, all we find is Milhouse again.
Oh, hello there.
Milhouse lets us know that it's just a prank bro, and Bart is actually at Planet Hype, so we make our way over.
Oh, hello there.
Turns out that was just another prank bro, and Bart is actually at.
Oh, hello there.
So it turns out Milhouse just wanted to know if we wanted to go on a date, which sort of seems like harassment, but there we are. And instead, we should go and speak to Apu, but on the way there, we pick up the final gag, wasp, and collector's card of the level. You know what, this isn't the hardest part of the challenge, so I'm just going to stop talking about them, and we'll just show the 100% at the end, because I genuinely cannot bring myself to write this into the script anymore. Otherwise, I'll... Apu lets us know that Cletus is selling roadkill to Krusty Burger restaurants and needs to stop him. That's it. Lisa's just getting railroaded into helping Apu and has no promise of gaining any information for helping with this. We help Apu stop Cletus from feeding his 27 children, and Apu lets us know that we should speak to Professor Frink. Because, you know, he's smart, he'll know where aliens have hidden your abducted brother. Unfortunately, Professor Frink was useless, so instead we go and seek the help of a wise old man. Yeah, get wrecked, boy. Get absolutely shafted. Wait, can I just sit up here and kick the crap out of this old man? It's like, theoretically, the police can't get to me up here, right? Yeah. That's what you get. What you get for being a pensioner. Work. You should do more work, you old man. Why do you get to retire? Huh? What's the retirement age for me now? Like 80? This is all your fault, you old prick. Suck on that. You. Oh yeah. Boom. Get wrecked, you old bastard. You wrinkly, bald, old man. Abe lets us know that he saw Bart's lucky red hat fall out of the back of a black sedan, which means the only logical option we have is meaningless violence, as we now have to destroy these sedans with the help of a school bus. That, however, is easier said than done, because as you can imagine, bus is big. Whilst our first few attempts don't do too bad, at least making it to Camp Krusty, we progressively get worse and worse at the mission, at one point just exploding the second we get into the bus. What? Am I soft-locked into this shitty little corner? Eventually, we manage to take out the first car and then make our way to the Aztec Theatre for sedan number 2. Right, if we can get good speed down the hill here. Bam. Oh, that was a fantastic hit. No! I forgot about the fact that I blow up from skinny little bastards that work at our goddamn cinema. Right, okay. We take out the first sedan again and make our way to the Aztec Theatre for sedan number 2, which we manage to destroy without too much trouble this time, and then head to the pier for sedan number 3, which just drives off the cliff, letting us complete the mission. With nowhere else to turn, we go to speak to Police Chief Wiggum, who once again just exploits a child. He says that if we help him gather evidence against Snake, he'll tell us where to find Bart. So we pick up some jeans, the corpse of an old person, and some litter before Wiggum tells us we should go and look at the pier. Once we get to the pier, we speak to Captain McAllister, who asks us to collect some fish, which we managed to do first time. I guess I'm just some goddamn racer boy. When we get back to Captain McAllister, he lets us know that he saw Bart in a black limo, starting the final mission of the level.
Arr, there's child molesters in this limo.
We did have some trouble taking out the limo. Being on the pier, there were very narrow roads and loads of people, so on multiple attempts, it was just easier to run towards a car spawn point away from the pier and wait for the limo. But eventually we take him out, head to the boat, and meet Bart.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Absolutely devastated over the fact her son was anally probed so hard he's lost the ability to speak, and trust me, I've been there, Marge is determined to find a cure to the problem, with the help of the citizens of Springfield. Starting with Police Chief Wiggum, after you catch him of course, because anything for this fat prick not to do his job. Once we speak to Wiggum, he lets us know that he can't help right now because he's suffering from withdrawals due to the lack of donuts. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is called.
Diabetes.
In order to get answers from Wiggum, we need to get him some donuts. So we smash the hell out of a Lard Lad Donuts van, which just conveniently happens to be driving past us, run over a child outside a school, and collect donuts before heading back to Wiggum, who lets us know about a crop circle over at Cletus's shack. We make a couple of detours on our way, but eventually make it to Cletus's shack before he just drives away, claiming to have no idea who we are. Just for context, this game came out in 2003, and by that time, there were a minimum of 14 seasons of Simpsons released, of which Cletus would have been in 9 of them. The only way this man would not know who Marge is if he was on some hardcore drugs. Actually, you know what, yeah, that kind of checks out, ignore me. Despite being high on, I can only presume, multiple Class A drugs, Cletus is an amazing driver and manages to evade me for much longer than I'd be willing to admit. But we eventually manage to follow him to the gas station where he comes down from his high and finally recognises us. Not that it matters, because I don't care and just leave him to do some races. Ralph's race in this level is the first street race in the game to be a one-on-one race, opposed to the usual group of 4. At least I think it is, I don't know, I've watched so much Simpsons hit and run over the past 2 weeks. I'm kind of losing the plot at this point, guys, I have to be honest. This race is one that I struggled with when I was younger, and one I was definitely not looking forward to here. Because if I tap anything, I die, you know, the challenge that we're doing here. What I didn't expect, however, is the hover car just launching itself into someone's back garden and getting trapped, making it a very easy win. The same, however, cannot be said for the Millhouse race. Taking you through Mr. Burns' mansion and into the power plant for 3 laps might not seem like much of a problem, especially as they've gotten rid of the power plant workers. But what you're not prepared for is this tunnel, which is as tight as your mum.
Comedy comes in threes.
This race was an absolute pain. Being blown up by the tyre barricade in the mansion, the walls of the tunnel, the walls of the power plant and the stonecutters tunnel, or even just driving into this godforsaken chess piece. But we finally managed to get through the race with my sanity just about in place. With the races out of the way, we make our way back to the main story, where we change into Marge's prisoner outfit.
I want to arrest her for disturbing the peace. In my pants.
Now that we're in the correct attire, we have to help Cletus collect ketchup packets.
What does that got to do with anything?
That's a great question. And let me tell you what input this has on the main storyline.
Absolutely fucking nothing.
That's right. Once again, we find ourselves being taken advantage of by the random citizens of Springfield. And it's not even the good-looking ones either. It's Cletus. Like, if it was a hunky, muscular man with a big bushy beard and a Santa costume.
You want excitement? Shove this up your stocking!
Once we'd collected some ketchup packets for Cletus, he lets us know we need to speak to Mole Man at the cemetery. But instead, we go and speak to Comic Book Guy, as he's nearby. Comic Book Guy needs us to go to the school and pick up some gifts that he sent to his girlfriend.
Wait, that's illegal.
Yeah, no wonder he wants us to collect these. We go around the school playgrounds picking up used underwear, heart chocolates, and onions? Before returning to the Comic Book Guy to complete the mission. Still not wanting to do anything that contributes to curing Bart, we continue with this absolutely absurd main storyline, and now have to race Chief Wiggum to the retirement home so he can speak to Grandpa. God, that was tough. Grandpa unfortunately can't help us right now because Nelson stole his anger problem medication. Why that means he can't speak to us, I have no idea, but we drive to the school to meet Nelson, who lets us know he traded the medication for some playing cards. Or something, I genuinely don't know. We follow a sedan around, pick up the medication and head back to Grandpa, but it turns out we just fed an old man roofies as he immediately passes out. So we go to the Quickie Mart and get some wake the fuck up pills.
Here I was surrounded by Tojo and his Nazi henchmen.
Once Abe has calmed down from his Vietnam flashbacks, he lets us know about some crop circles, which then leads us to the realisation this is all related to Buzz Cola.
Yeah! We did it! We did it! We did it, everybody! We did it! Yeah!
Finally. It's taken 5 missions, but we've finally done something with some significance. We've gone through this whole level just doing meaningless task after meaningless task, and we finally have something to talk about. Oh, hopefully this stays for the rest of the game, and there's not another entire level with no input to the story coming up. With our newfound meaning in life, we head to the Quickie Mart to start collecting Buzz Cola cans, before then deciding we also need to destroy the delivery trucks for Buzz Cola as well, starting the last mission of the level. This mission requires you to destroy 3 separate Buzz Cola trucks which are placed over the map. and getting into this mission, this is where I expected to hate my life more than I already do. That was until the first truck decided to just throw itself into a ditch. We did have a few explosions on the way, including one explosion that destroyed the final truck. Oh my god, me blowing myself worked. But then we just have to make our way to the house to finish the level. Oh, we've done it. Is that the end of the mission? That's the end. 100% did it. Let's go! Level 5 puts us into the control of Apu, the only non-Simpsons character that we get to play as in the game, and let me tell you, I was not looking forward to this level. As I mentioned earlier, the map sucks, and hardly any of the missions actually contribute to the main storyline. On top of this, it's at this point in the game that opposing vehicles become faster and more aggressive. I mean, I guess they've been getting faster and more aggressive anyway, but there's definitely a massive spike between the previous level and this one, which could definitely cause us some problems in the races and some of the missions when it comes to getting touched up. To start off, we spawn in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, and the only thing relatively close to us is Nelson's circuit race, so we decide to take that on. The main opponent in this race is Bart. Oh wow, I sure am excited to see who we play as in the next level. I wonder if it will follow the same pattern as every other level in the game. Bart does have a slight improvement from the last time we raced him, as he's replaced the rocket car with his red Farini. Because, you know, we're not allowed to call it what it's very clearly based off of.
So frustrating. We all know what we're talking about.
Despite being much faster, having better acceleration and better handling, there is one other major difference between the rocket car and the Farini. And that is that the Farini doesn't look like a woman can insert itself into her for financial gain. We did have a bit of trouble at the start of this race, as it pinches you into a corner and we got hit a couple of times. But once we got ahead on the map... Is it called a map? No, track, that's the one. Once we got ahead, the track opens up a bit and we easily get the first race out of the way. From there, we head over to Professor Frink to start this level's bonus mission. For this mission, Elon Musk's new Tesla has come to life and needs to be destroyed. But funnily enough, if you just throw multiple explosive devices at it, that tends to do a lot of damage, and from there we can just finish it off. We then head back to Frink to finish the mission.
I'm better. I am better.
Race number 2 puts us in the second one-on-one race of the game, this time against Bart in his red Farini. Whilst the track for this race could cause some problems, they've removed every NPC vehicle from the road, so it's literally just a situation of don't drive head on into a wall. And whilst I've failed at that hurdle multiple times so far, we fortunately don't this time, and by taking a few shortcuts, we get a commanding lead over Bart, which nets us the win. Race 3 makes us drive in circles. Now, I'm aware that's the point of a lap race, but my point is that there's very little that can go wrong here. Getting a sick ass drift in for the final bit. Boom! Let's go!
We did it! We did it!
With the races and bonus missions complete, we only have the 7 main story missions left to do. The main story point for this entire level is focused around Apu's personal life and business, and honestly has nothing to do with the main plot of Bart being abducted and taken advantage of by aliens. In the first mission, Apu is required to follow a Buzz Cola truck to clear the name of himself and the Quickie Mart so he doesn't get reincarnated as a cucumber. This is genuinely part of the game's script, and I don't know what to tell you. Once we'd followed the truck and picked up the fallen crates, we end up at the Legitimate Businessman Social Club, where we now have to escape the Mafia whilst making our way to the hospital. There's not really much I can say about this mission either. An Indian man drives away from an Italian man. Level 2 done. I'm just too goddamn good! Woo!
Okay.
At the hospital, Dr. Hibbert lets us know that Apu's 8 babies are about to drop some absolute bombs which aren't covered by our insurance. So we now need to steal diapers from a family that has 9 babies. After absolutely demolishing the family car, we collect the final diaper and make our way back to Dr. Hibbert. Thank you very much. Back to looking for the source of Buzz Cola to restore the reputation to his family name, Apu goes to speak to Krusty the Clown. I'm not quite sure why. I guess he did the advert, but that doesn't really mean anything. Krusty says we should speak to the police, which, to be honest, is the first thing we should have done rather than piss off the mob, but there we go. Obviously, the only logical way to find the police is to follow the trail of donuts, instead of just driving to the police station. So we follow the donuts, which, shocker, takes us to the police station, and we then follow Police Chief Wiggum to the DMV, where we meet Snake. Snake says that if we complete his community service for him, he'll help us find out about the cola. So we make a start on the mission I struggled with most as a child. However, doing this now, it appears I may have just been trash. Do you get it? Because of the bins?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Once we'd collected all of the bins, we make our way back to Snake and discover that he lied to us and won't help us unless we now help him destroy an armoured truck. Now, this was the one mission I had in mind when I decided to alter the mod back in level 1. Sure, I was having trouble with the Smithers mission, but I actually got relatively close a couple of times. However, I don't think I'd even come close to completing this mission with the original settings. That being said, this mission was still an absolute pain in the ass. This is before we even got to the armoured truck as well. Hell, even before we got to Police Chief Wiggum, we started to rack up the restarts, just by landing on random people on the freeway. 3 times. Once we'd managed to get past the random vehicles in the middle of the road, we then come to Police Chief Wiggum, who's driving a police car that has much better stats than the one you're able to unlock at this point in the game, putting you at a massive disadvantage when you're trying to get away from him. Fortunately, we were able to figure out a method where if we just do one of the jumps over the expressway, he turns around and we instantly lose him. Which brings us to the armoured truck. Starting off, we weren't doing a lot of damage, and it became abundantly clear that we were going to have to push the truck into walls and solid objects, rather than just ramming into it. Which is odd, because just ramming into it has never failed me before. Unfortunately, forcing someone to drive head-on into a brick wall was a lot more difficult than it seems, and we spent quite a bit of time trying to complete this mission. He's turning around here. Okay. Right.
No! You idiots! Why have you done that?
Oh my Christ. That man needs to be divorced. His wife needs to leave him and take him for everything he's worth. He should be left homeless without a penny to his name, and he should be getting kicked the out of every night by thugs. What an asswipe. I'm gonna shit myself. Yes. Come on, like one more hit. Don't you dare hit me.
No! What? The police officer? No! What do you mean?
Oh my god, there was a police officer that got out of the car when I hit it and it cost me to die. Oh no. Oh yeah, come on, one more. Appreciate it. There we go. Lovely. Okay. We go again. He's jumped into me twice. Oh. I can't hit him because every time I do, that police officer jumps out and I die. Like that. He's there. What do you mean? It took a lot of attempts, but we finally got to the point where we managed to take out the truck without the police jumping in front of my vehicle, and then make it to Snake's hideout to complete the mission, where Snake lets us know that the cola trucks are registered to the museum. Apu then does what every other grown man would do after hearing this news, which is enlist the help of a 10-year-old boy. With Bart by our side, we head to the museum, destroy the curator's vehicle, and make our way inside, where we discover Kang and Kodos are using Buzz Cola to make the whole of Springfield go mad so they can get space ratings on a TV show they're making. This thankfully brings an end to Apu's level, where only one mission actually contributed anything to the main storyline of the game.
Get in the bin, get in the trash can, get in the skip, get put on a rocket, get into space, go into the sun, kill yourself.
With the new information that Buzz Cola is being used by aliens to take over Springfield, we come to Bart, who's now determined to bring down the alien operation. To start off Bart's level, we buy the outfits in the nearby android's dungeon and start to collect the collector's card for this map. And I know I said I wasn't going to speak about it in these levels, but it's a good segue into the fact that we're not going to be talking about any of the main story missions for the next 4 minutes. Speaking of segues, oh damn, look at this sick ass transition, oh my god, wow. This level's bonus mission is to assist Snake in destroying a police car and then also destroy a milk truck. Actually, no, it's not. Snake isn't even there. We're not assisting. We've come back round to child labour. Bart's just being exploited at this point.
Replace him! Ah!
First of all, Police Chief Wiggum has some evidence against Snake in his car, so we need to destroy that. What we do realise here is that any resemblance of rubber banding that was present in the first 5 levels seems to have been completely removed in this level, as Wiggum seems to be driving faster than a white Ford Bronco on the 17th of June 1994. Did you get it? It's a Simpsons joke.
Uh-oh, I'm losing him. Time for the game material!
Shove this up your stocking!
He's there, crouching.
just absolutely slocking me off.
It took a few attempts to recognise that Police Chief Wiggum can just absolutely smoke me if we don't take him out before we get to the pier, but once we'd learned that, we get a bit more aggressive and we're able to take him out. The milk truck, on the other hand, was an absolute joke and we destroyed it on the first attempt, which completes the bonus mission and unlocks Bandit. From Snake, we go and speak to Nelson outside the Aztec Theatre, who puts us in a one-on-one race against Homer in his 70s sports car, which is a race I was not looking forward to. Homer's car is so much faster than ours and also has powers from the wizarding world of Harry Potter, so as you can imagine, I spent a bit of time on this race doing what I do on weekends, which is getting smashed from behind by a 40-year-old man. God, these don't even have double meanings anymore. I'm just saying I got bummed. Fortunately, after my bumming, we managed to get some distance from the Predator behind me by cutting some corners and the fact that I think he crashed somewhere along the way, and get the win. Continuing on with our lap of the map, avoiding every chance of the main story, we come across Milhouse in his time trial race. This race was easy. I don't really have much to say. They removed any pedestrians, all I had to do was follow the road. Even I can't fuck that up. Okay, fantastic. Anyway, the final race of the level is hosted by Ralph, and once again puts us in a one-on-one race against Homer. Fortunately, this race also removed all pedestrian vehicles, so we easily complete the race. You wouldn't ass blast your own son. This leaves only the main story missions left to complete, and it's at this point you're probably thinking, God, we've completed a lot of missions. What number are we on now?
36. Counted them myself.
This mission tasks us with running over school children. And I wish that was a joke, but no, that is literally the aim of the mission. Otto has to collect these children and take them to Krusty Lou Studios. There's no other predisposition to this mission. Oh. Predisposition to this mission. As I'm sure you were told when you were a child, you shouldn't play in the road, so as you can imagine, a vast majority of these children were on the pavement and out of harm's way. But do you know what else are on pavements? Other children and pedestrians. Inconsiderate drivers. A lot of pedestrians. It took a few attempts, but we get a run where there are for some reason just absolutely zero people in our way, so I have to do very little dodging, and we make it to Krusty Lou Studios for mission
37!
After not being able to find Krusty the Clown at his place of work, because, you know, it's clearly the middle of the fucking night, Barney tells us he's at the Squidport, so we need to race his limo there. But before we race his limo, we first need to race this itchy and scratchy van, for no reason whatsoever.
Fucking waste of my time!
What I didn't expect, however, is the fact that the pathing for this truck drives directly into the spawn point of your car for this mission, putting us at an immediate disadvantage, as the only thing we can do is watch our car blow the hell up. After figuring that out, we developed a method of ignoring my car spawn point and running to the phone booth to call my car. But we couldn't call it straight away, because if we did that, you guessed it, the pathing for the truck drives directly into the spawn point of your car. Yeah, we got it. So we have to wait for the truck to go past before you then call your vehicle, at which point the truck has already disappeared into the ether, so instead of following it, you have to take a detour through Krusty's Studios and do a jump from a Tom Cruise movie to actually catch up to the truck. Once we actually make it to the limo, we need to race it to the Squidport, and the normal method for this would be to park in front of the limo or crash into the side of it to start the race. We can do neither of these because I will die. So once again, we start at a disadvantage as the limo gets a head start before I'm even in the car. But we managed to get lucky and he had a head-on collision with an armoured truck, so not too bad in the second half of the mission. When we speak to Krusty, it turns out he doesn't believe the 10-year-old going on about aliens taking over Springfield with special cola. Which, you know what, yeah, that's completely justified, can't really blame him for that one. As Krusty's unwilling to help, we try and get help from Professor Frink, but we need to follow him first. This is literally just a follow mission, I don't have much to say about this. We need to remember, guys, rule of thumb, don't touch kids. It turns out Professor Frink actually believes us and says that we need to destroy 6 boxes of lasers that are being delivered at the Duff Brewery. So we head over to the brewery and proceed to have a very stressful experience chasing a Duff truck. Oh, fuck. Okay, right, this needs to be the best goddamn driving I've ever done in my life.
What are you doing, you fat bastard? Get out the way!
Oh my god, you're unloved. Literally. Oh, you're an asswipe. No! Oh my god. Right, that's 6. With all 6 boxes destroyed, we head back to the Duff Brewery, pick up a laser gun that appears to be left behind, and take that to Principal Skinner, who then dies a fiery death in a car accident and is never seen again. Now that we have some credible evidence, Krusty believes us about the aliens, but he's already set up laser gun stands around Springfield, so we, the 10-year-old child, needs to go and destroy them.
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay? No more! Where the fuck are your parents? Who are your parents? I'm gonna call Child Protective Services. It's time to stop!
We picked up a handful of deaths in the first section of this mission due to the number of people on the pier and the fact that I just suck ass at driving, but once we made it out of the port, the rest of the mission was relatively easy, and making it back to Krusty was not a problem thanks to the reset tactic to spawn you closer to the road. Thank you to Zenith and his worst car video for doing that research for me. Massively recommend that video if you haven't seen it already. This completes the mission and brings us to the final mission of the level, a race from Krusty Burger to the Duff Brewery in Homer's 70s sports car, which was incredibly easy and we completed first time. And then Chicken and Chips, or whatever the hell they're called, tell us that Cola's already in the water supply and we're all gonna die.
We're all gonna die! Ah! Ah! Run!
Here we are. The end of the game. The final level. The last stage. The end game. The ultimate challenge. The climax. The final chapter. The end stage. The grand finale. The concluding level. The closing act. The final frontier. Okay, I'm out of AI generated synonyms. Basically, this is it. Subscribe now or you'll never see me again. I don't know if that's a compelling argument or not, but hey, got to get that shameless plug in somehow. We started off collecting all of the collectibles for the level and made our way to the bonus mission for Mr. Smithers, who has somehow survived the zombie outbreak. I guess there are other people that survived the outbreak, but I just wouldn't expect Mr. Smithers to be one of them. Especially considering he's just here, in the middle of the road, surrounded by them. Mr. Smithers asks us to complete some stuff for Mr. Burns, and for the most part, you don't actually need a car, so we quickly completed this mission and got it out of the way. Directly across the road from Smithers is the time trial race, which would normally be Milhouse's race, but, yeah, he's fucking dead. This race makes us do laps around the Quickie Mart and has quite a narrow time frame, forcing you to cut corners and throw yourself off of ladders as if you're prime Jeff Hardy. And much like Jeff Hardy, this would often lead to crashing and forcing us to restart. It took a couple of attempts, but overall wasn't too bad, once we'd figured out that we need to come off the ladder early and not jump off the end of it. The next race we do is the checkpoint race, which challenges us to get from the school to the power plant. And I say challenges sarcastically, because this hearse pulls a handbrake turn blocking both of the other vehicles, which guaranteed me the win on the first attempt. The same, however, cannot be said for the circuit race, which very quickly became the bane of my existence. From crashing literally less than 2 seconds into the race, to hitting walls under absolutely zero pressure, to the AI vehicles just crashing into nothing and then blocking the road. And it's safe to say, I may have lost my cool on a couple of occasions. Oh my Christ. Don't hit me, don't hit me. Why the f have you done that? What the hell are you thinking? You've just driven straight into me. You didn't even attempt to make the turn. Oh my God, you are an asswipe. The biggest asswipe on the face of the planet Earth. You dickbag. No, no, no. Why is he driving towards me? Don't you dare. You ghost car boat b****. Why the f have you driven straight into me? Look at where the road goes. There's no need for you to drive straight into me, you absolute bell job. What do you gain from that? Oh my Christ. No, 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 no. What the f? What are you doing? You absolute. What the f? Oh my God. 2, 4, 6, 8. I wish I was dead. No! The fat zombie b****. After 40 minutes of a grown man shouting and screaming profanity at a game made for 12-year-olds, we finally managed to finish this race, and boy, are we on the right level for it, because after that, I was dead inside. Fortunately, with that out of the way, we completed all of the races, got all of the collectibles, and completed every bonus mission in the game, leaving only the 7 missions in this level. The first mission starts in the Simpsons house with Lisa, and being the smart one, she has the good idea of getting things to protect the house. So, you know, we don't die. So we head around Springfield to pick up a first aid kit, some wooden boards, and a chainsaw. With the house protected, we head to the school and investigate a black sedan which is being hanging around the playground. And thinking back to a few levels ago, this was probably just comic book guy trying to get an eye on his next victim. Sorry, girlfriend. So we follow the sedan which leads us all the way to the power plant where we meet Professor Frink. Professor Frink gives us his unwarranted opinion and says the best way to get rid of the alien spaceship is to blast it to fuck with a metric ton of nuclear waste. And given that that plan is absolutely amazing, we're immediately on board. Getting in the hovercart, we collect the nuclear waste and make our way to the school. Okay, this isn't too bad. This car is fast enough to get us there without too much trouble. Come on, move, skeleton. Move. Why have you driven in my way, you absolute rat bitch? Okay, right, this is the one. I feel the vibes. This is the one. We're getting it this time. How the hell am I going to do this in like 40 seconds later on? Nah, man, I can't go to Legoland. There's like too many kids there. I've got that restraining order, haven't I? Right, okay, we've made it. Oh, God, what an enjoyable mission during the final level of the game. I'm so glad we had to experience that once. It's truly made the game better. But it would really ruin it if we had to do it 3 more times.
You want to see me do it again?
Right. Let's get the nuclear waste. Oh, Homer, you lovely boy. Don't hit that car, please. Don't hit the car. Don't hit the car, Homer, you fat bastard. See, I was about to say, like, Anime Friday, so we play, like, anime games on a Friday, like, I don't know, the Persona or The Last Airbender. Even though that game's trash, I wouldn't be playing that. But I forgot the name for anime and almost went to say Hentai Fridays, and that is a very different stream. Let's grab the waste, please. Get in the car, you fat bastard! Oh my god, we might actually make it this time. Please, dear god. Shut up, kid. Oh my god, we've done it. Let's go. God, what an enjoyable mission during the final level of the game. I'm so glad we had to experience that once.
You want to see me do it again?
Right, let's get Snake over to the power plant. Don't chase me, don't chase me, don't chase me, don't chase me. Leave me alone. Nobody loves you. Oh, he's crashed. You're so bad. Get absolutely rinsed. Oh, I've killed someone. Never mind, I'm trash. I didn't even see that bit. Oh, I hate my life. Don't hit Carl. Carl, you dickbag. Okay. Okay, it's not a new mission. This is one continuous piece of trash mission that I have to do. Oh my god, we've actually done it. Thank God. Don't hit a zombie. God, what an enjoyable mission during the final level of the game. I'm so glad—
You want to see me do it again?
Oh, okay, it's a race, and I failed. He has jumped out of my way. I love him with every part of my heart and penis. My heart's bigger. No! You bitch! 30 seconds from here. Oh, we're at the school. Give me the time. Give me time. 20 seconds. This is fine. No! What the f— Get your face out of my face! Avoiding the witches and the wizards, Professor McGonagall and Albus Dumbledore. Did you put your name in the goblet of fire? Harry Potter! We just need to not run a child over in the playground. Okay. Principal Seymour, move your ass. We've done it. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it. And with Abe finally being killed off in the final chapters, we've completed the game with a total of 346 explosions to our name, having finally taken out the aliens and saved Springfield. But with us going for the 100%, there's one more thing we need to do before we can end the video. Steroids! Ah, jeez. Oh, he's absolutely zooming, man. Oh, Tom's just fucking rinsed the wall. Oh, his heart's exploded. He is dead. Right, okay, fantastic. Oh, and we've beheaded him for the trophy. Shit. There we go, the end. And with the final movie watched, we've completed everything the Simpsons Hit and Run has to offer, whilst getting blown up every time we touched basically anything. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Patty and Selma, or like Patty and sell my nudes to people on the internet. Ha! Got him.